Warning, the player selections you're about to see may flop miserably. FPL TV cannot be held responsible for any of your own transfer shockers. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Point Predictor, the series where I pick 5 players that I think will score 4 points or more in the upcoming FPL Gameweek. Within these predictions, I can only select one player per club, and I must follow the categories shown on screen. If you enjoy the Point Predictor series, then be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and getting subscribed to FPL TV. With game weeks coming thick and fast over the Christmas period, unfortunately there was no time for a Game Week 15 Point Predictor, but let's quickly check my picks from Game Week 14 where I managed just the 2 out of 5 correct predictions. So let's move swiftly on to Game Week 16's picks now and see if I can make some good predictions for this weekend's fixtures. For my defensive pick, ideally I'd like to have selected Arsenal's Kolasinac here, as his attacking stats have been outstanding lately, but with that very slight threat of rotation, I've instead opted for his teammate Bellerin. In the last 4 game weeks, Bellerin has produced some pretty good attacking output as well, perhaps not as much as Kolasinac, but still decent, as he sits 2nd for penalty area touches and 3rd for goal attempts among defenders. With not one Premier League team keeping a clean sheet in the last game week, it's important to choose an attacking defender for the Point Predictor, but with the Gunners facing Huddersfield at home in their next fixture, I think their chances are pretty good this time out. Huddersfield have been improving of late, but they currently rank bottom for big chances created in away fixtures this season, with just 5 in 7 games. My budget midfield pick this week goes to Felipe Anderson. During the writing of this Point Predictor, I actually had Richarlison drafted in here, but having looked at Watford's away stats this season, they've actually been very decent defensively, which then swayed me to Anderson instead, who faces Crystal Palace. Anderson's opponents Palace come off the back of a 3-1 defeat to 10-man Brighton in Game Week 15, so this will no doubt be a big confidence knock to the Eagles, and the stats suggest they've been pretty poor defensively away from home too, conceding 8 goals in their last 4 away trips. As for Anderson, owners will definitely feel unlucky that he didn't return points against Cardiff, especially after West Ham scored 3 goals there. But if an informed player does blank in one game, perhaps that gives him more chance to return points in the next, and Anderson is definitely in form, with 4 goals in his last 5 appearances. My any-priced midfielder this week goes to Raheem Sterling. The rampant Man City come into this game in scintillating form, already netting 45 goals in just 15 games this season. That's an incredible average of 3 goals per game. Quick maths. There's no doubt Chelsea away is a very difficult fixture, but in recent weeks, Chelsea just look a bit out of sorts and lacking confidence, so a well-rested Raheem Sterling could do damage here, especially if the attacking Marcos Alonso leaves plenty of space in behind. In the last 4 game weeks, Sterling boasts an incredible 28 penalty area touches, which puts him 2nd for this metric despite only playing in 3 of the 4 games. My budget forward option this week goes to Fulham's Mitrovic. Having already sold Mitrovic earlier in the season, I really wasn't liking what I saw from him a few weeks back. He cut a frustrated figure and looked very isolated. But since the appointment of Ranieri as manager, the Serbian looks to be finding some form again, returning points in 2 of his last 3 games. Another reason for selecting Mitrovic this week was United's defence, with many of their defenders either injured or lacking fitness this game week, which certainly won't help considering they already have one of the league's worst defensive records this season, conceding 25 goals in 15 games. For the any-price striker this week, my initial choice was Alexander Lacazette, but with me already selecting an Arsenal player, I've instead had to back the in-form Harry Kane. I don't feel overly optimistic about this choice, only because Leicester have looked very strong defensively of late, and Tottenham have that midweek Champions League game to think about. But other than Aubameyang and Lacazette, there's no other premium striker I really fancy this week, and at least with Kane, you know he's a guaranteed starter and basically fixture-proof, so he's a reliable pick seeing that he's really started to hit some form now. The Spurs frontman now has 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games, racking up 36 points in the process, and he also boasts outstanding attacking stats to boot, with the 2nd most goal attempts among strikers recently. As mentioned, Leicester have looked very solid defensively of late, but they have played Fulham, Watford, Brighton and Burnley in the last 4 games, so perhaps it says more about their opponents than it does about their defence. And that wraps up this week's Point Predictor. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, be sure to drop a like and get subscribed to the channel. Good luck for Game Week 16, and I'll catch you all soon. Oh, and FPL responsibly.